right, everybody. I'm just finishing up my morning prayers. I'm just giving the people enough time to come on while I'm finishing up this prayer. I'm pressed for time this morning, so I'm trying to rush everything. Tobacco is a great way for manifestation. I'm just finishing up on my ritual, and then after that, I'm going straight into prayers. Man, this morning is just really packed. I got meetings at work and everything else, and so I gotta get going this morning. So everybody go ahead and start lighting your incense. Your candles should already be lit. This is the third day. If you haven't started, make sure you start today. And tobacco is always a good way to bring about manifestations and to cleanse yourself. You're just blowing the tobacco smoke on your altar, speaking the things you want. So mote it be, it shall be, it's already in existence, it's already done. I thank you for it. I seal this in the name of Igun, Spirit Guide, Ancestor, Sarabanda, Orisha, Yeshua, Olodumare, Olorum, Olafi. And I thank you, Igun, Spirit Guide, Ancestor, Sarabanda, Orisha, Yeshua, Olodumare, Olorum, and Olafi. Continue to bless me, watch over me, and keep me safe. I seal these things, I believe you for it. Ashe, amen. So it is, so it is done. Ashe. Where is this mop bucket? One of the important things that you guys need to learn is floor wash. The water from your altars, especially, what are you praying to? Who am I praying to? I'm praying to Igun, Spirit God, Ancestor, Sarabanda, Orisha, Yeshua, Olodumare, Olorum, and Olafi. You should be praying to your spiritual team about the things that you need to set yourself free, especially when you're doing work for other people. Take your water from your altars, put it in a mop bucket. Add herbs, add Florida water, and mop your floor. That is how you do spiritual floor washes. It depends on what it is that you need. If you're trying to bring love in, I don't know why Christians follow me on this thing. Where's my Florida water? If you're trying to bring love in, then what you want to do is you want to burn pine, and you want to burn fresh basil and parsley, and then take that boiling on the stove, and then take it and put it in your mop bucket and mop your floor. Where is my Florida water? I'm trying to find my Florida water. If you want, okay, I got all my candles. So here go Florida water. If you want love, burn some rose petals, some cinnamon. Get cinnamon sticks. Get the nutmeg, the actual, not the powder, but the actual herb, the ball. You'll see it in the stores. And get some bay leaves. Burn those, and then put the water in your mop bucket. You should be mopping your floors at least once a week with the right herbs and with the right spices, depending on, or with the right herbs, depending on what it is that you want. One thing that people will learn is that, I don't argue. I try my best not to argue on this site. The only thing I do is block. If you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're anything that is not spiritual, you're free to think however you want. Just don't come on this page. This page is spiritual. I'm always going to teach you guys the spiritual way of how to do things. And stop using as an excuse that you're just so busy and stuff for this stuff. Shoots, I'm busy. I'm a single father now, raising a kid myself. I'm the director of HR. I'm constantly in meetings and stuff like that. I'm constantly spiritually. I'm always doing divination and stuff like that. You make time for the things that's the most important for you. And some of y'all are going to learn how powerful this soap is, this peppermint soap. If you feel that witchcraft is upon you, you should be going to Walmart, getting this soap, cleansing yourself every single day. You can use this as a floor wash as well. Put a little drops in your mop bucket with the water from your ancestor altar and watch how things start to break in your life. Some of you got to be willing to do the work. That's the one thing about my book, that my book teach you. Spirituality, you can't be lazy. You cannot be lazy when it comes to spiritual work. You got to be willing to do the work to rid yourself. Some of you have been dealing with negative witchcraft for a year, for 2 years. Why? Why haven't that thing broken yet? Why haven't you gotten the deliverance that you want? It's because you're not doing the work. And with some of you, it's because you don't know what to do, but now you have a page that is telling you what you need to do. Do the work. What are some of the dangers of the spiritual practice? It's not a danger in spiritual practice. The danger is when you don't know how to protect yourself and you're just allowing people to sin and project whatever they want in your life, that they are controlling the wheel in your life. That is the danger. The danger is when we don't know how to protect ourselves and we deny ourselves of these protections, that we use Christianity and everything else to support laziness. That is, oh no, it's against the Bible that we're not supposed to use crystals. But yet the 12 tribes of Israel was associated with healing crystals. That, oh, it's against the Bible for us to burn incense. But yet they did it 24/7 in the tent of tabernacle in order to rid themselves of negative spirits and negative energies in order to present themselves before God. Oh, it's against the Bible for us to talk to our ancestors and to talk to spirits. But yet Jesus was on the mount presented with Moses and Elijah. We got to stop using these excuses so it rid us of our responsibility and accountability, and that it just allow people to do whatever in our lives. And now we're thinking in our mind that no matter what, we're protected because we're calling on the name of Jesus. But look at all the things that Jesus did to protect himself. We got to stop using this stuff as excuses to be lazy, that we don't have to do nothing but just speak a word and then everything is going to be done. Speaking a word, it can be done if you have the faith to match it. The one thing that I tell people all the time, yes, the Bible says it takes the faith of a mustard seed. But if your doubt, worries, fear, and everything else is the size of a cantaloupe, then you need to increase that faith in order for manifestation to happen. Some of you are living the worst part of your life because you don't know how to rid yourself of this negative energy. I'm sorry, after tobacco smoke, I got to get something to drink. The best thing you can do for your ancestors is build an ancestor altar, is do your ancestor altar, because not only are you uplifting your ancestors, but you're helping yourself in return. Because a lot of things that you put on your ancestor altars, you can use yourself. That's just like your waters. The way that your ancestor altar is supposed to be set up, you're supposed to have your cup in the middle. You're supposed to have 4 cups going this way, that it's like a V. And then you're having 4 cups going this way. The one in the middle should have a crucifix. That one in the crucifix, once it has set on your altar for 7 days, this is now holy water. Just don't throw this water away. This is not the time to just throw water away, especially when you feel that you're under a spiritual attack. This water you should put in your mop bucket. Add Florida water in that mop bucket, and then add the herbs in order to bring about manifestation. If money is the thing that you need, you want to take some fresh basil, fresh parsley, and some cinnamon sticks, as well as pine from a pine tree. You're going to put it in your pot. You're going to boil that water over the stove, and then you're going to pour that water in the mop bucket as well, and you're going to mop your floors. If love is the thing you need, you're going to take some fresh rose petals, put it in there. You're going to do red rose petals for passion. You're going to do pink rose petals for romance. You're going to do white rose petals for what am I looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? For commitment. And you're going to let that boil with some cinnamon sticks. You can take a fresh thing of nutmeg and put it in there, not the powdered nutmeg, and some bay leaves as well. Let it boil, and then pour that water into the mop bucket. I like to use things like this so you don't have to worry about the herbs going everywhere. And then you're gonna mop your house from the front door all the way into the back. We gotta do the work. Stop just allowing this. Some of us is just sitting in negative energy. We're just letting this negative energy just harbor in our house. We're not doing any incense to purify our space, which is sage, dragon blood, or frankincense and myrrh. We're not doing anything. We should be lighting those incense from the beginning of our house all the way to the end, saying every negative spirit, all negative witchcraft that is not serving my highest good, it must leave. Everything that is not serving my highest good, it must leave. We must take control and ownership of our house, of our families. Everyone that is under that house, you are now charged as the priest of that house. You must protect your kids. You must protect your family. Everyone that is residing under your address, you must be able to protect spiritually. I realized everything was working when everything in my life started to change. I remember in the beginning, I was in HR. I was an HR generalist, and I was making $60,000. I was making $60,000 annually, and I remember telling God, I have 2 master's degrees. I have my MBA, and I have my master's in human resource management. I have at this point, I have over 20 years of experience. And I just was telling God that, and then I worked with all the people I worked with. I had more education. I had more experience under my belt, but yet they were getting paid more than me. And that was one of the reasons why I actually did a lawsuit against that company. And I won the lawsuit because of the help of the ancestors and the Orishas. And I remember telling God that I was like, I want you to bless me that I'm able to get a job, that I'm able to have a position that will honor and acknowledge my degrees, that will honor and acknowledge my experience. And it was the moment that I start praying that it was Ogun that came in and answered that prayer. Ogun blessed me with jobs in the manufacturing field that I was finally making 6 figures. I was finally making 6 figures. I end up having a big bonus that every year I receive a bonus. It was in that moment that I start realizing that the path of connecting with the ancestors and the Orishas was working for me. Even my family start to notice that my twin brother came to me and he said, whatever it is you're doing it is clearly working. You are making the most amount of money of everyone in the family, and it's 16 of us, all from the same mother and father. And so it was in that moment that I realized that the path that I was on, it was working, and that this was the path that was destined for me. And so you will, when you start working with your ancestors and when you start working with the Orishas, they will in turn bless you. You know, the Orishas are not an energy that they will just allow all of this negative stuff to start happening in your life. They will be very active and powerful in your life, but you must do the work. You must do the work of understanding Orisha. You need to understand these deities. You need to understand how to approach them, and you need to understand how to pray. Praying is not a begging thing. You're not begging when you're in prayer. You're saying, this is what I need. I need you to assist me with this. Even when you go to the Bible says that you have charge over the angels. So what is the purpose of having these altars if you're not giving them an assignment? The whole purpose of an altar is not to feed the ancestors and the Orishas 24/7. It's to give them the energy that they need in order to fight and in order for them to intervene in your life. So we need to start using these energies. We need to start understanding these energies. We need to start understanding that the ancestors is our first line of defense. They are the first ones to come to us and protect us. And then it's when we start dealing with things, that negative witchcraft, that things are just not seeming to be right. Every time you get into a relationship, it always ends in a horrible breakup. You know, every time you get with somebody, they end up ghosting you. Those things you need to consider. Am I under a spell? That's when you need to elevate those things, where instead of connecting with the ancestors, you're now connecting with the deity saying, I need you to rid me of this curse. What do I need to do in order to rid myself of this curse? So if you're drowning in debt, cry out. I remember when I left well, maybe I shouldn't say the company. When I left the company that was discriminated against me. When I left that company that they were paying me $60,000. I was over 7 states. I did all of the onboarding, the employee relation issues, the recruiting, payroll. I did everything in HR for 7 companies. I had the largest workload out of all of the other HR people, but yet they hired someone else. They hired a Caucasian female, ended up paying her $80,000 with a 15% bonus. They had me to train her, and then she had her area was completely less than mine. I was over 7 states. She was over 5 states. I was over 500 and some employees. She was over like 100 and some employees. There was a big discrepancy that I remember even doing a PowerPoint, presenting this to them. And they eventually end up giving me $10,000 more. And I'm like, no, that's still not enough. I'm still now 10,000 less than her, and my bonus is still less. And so that's when, eventually I end up suing. And then that's when they let me go. And I end up winning the lawsuit. And so, and it was only because of the help of the ancestors and the Orishas. You have to learn how to do the same. Cry out and use your team. And when you're crying out, you are giving them the command of what it is that you need for them to do. No, you don't have to be initiated to work with the Orishas. That is the lie that a lot of priests will tell you. When I was going through all the things that I was going through, I was not initiated yet. It was Yemaya that ended up giving me the money and everything I needed in order to get initiated. She was the one that was keep drawing me to this religion. And that's when I got initiated. But every other time, all the times before that, I had altars for every Orisha in my life, in my house. I was already studying about the Orishas. I was already giving them offerings because I refused to connect with these priests online that was keep telling me that, because I'm not initiated, I can't give offering, and that they have to give the offering for me, and that it's, $900. No, I'm not about to fall for that manipulation and trick. I know that Oshun is prevalent in my life. I know Ogun is prevalent in my life. I know Obatala is prevalent in my life. I'm going to keep connecting with them the way that they want me to connect with them. And if they desire for me to be initiated, then I will be initiated. It was in the time that I had no job at all, that I had no money flowing in, that, I started doing rituals and I started getting tons of money from so many different directions. And that's when I knew that it was Yemaya telling me to take that money and get initiated. We got to understand that sometimes the Orishas will use the bad in our lives in order to force us to elevate. I remember when I left the company, even though I was suing them, I still had a great defeat in my heart. I was like, Lord, I have never been unemployed. I have never been let go from a job. And even when they let me go, they gave me a severance package where they were like, look, just take this money and hush up. And everything in me told me, no, do not take that severance, because once you take that severance, your voice is silenced. And so I was like, no, thank you. I'm not going to take this severance. Instead, I will see you in court. The Orishas and the ancestors made me go 2 years without a goddamn job. How is that normal? How is that normal for a person with with 2 master's degrees, one in human resource management, one with an MBA, that cannot find a job? That every single time I interviewed for jobs, I made it all the way up to the last interview, but I never got the job. They always gave it to the other person. How is that normal? It was in that moment the Orishas was teaching me that your support, your help do not come from human beings. Your help do not come from your own strength. You are not strong by your own sword and by your own bow. That your strength and everything, it comes from your spiritual team. And they took that bad moment in my life and forced me to ascend. They forced me to ascend. I remember one day that I was laying in my bed. I was completely defeated. I was completely out of it. And the ancestors came in my dream with so much power, and they said, get up now and start doing spell work. Because every time before that, when I was working that job, I had to travel a lot. I still had kids in the home. I had 4 kids at the home at the time. And I would always tell the Orishas every time they came to me, every time the ancestor came to me, oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I got to travel to Tennessee. I got to travel to Ohio. I got to travel to Illinois. I got to travel to Wisconsin. I got to travel to all these states that I'm over, that I literally had to travel to every single state once a month. And there were times that some of these states had so many employee relation issues that I had to stay there for like 2 weeks. That majority of the time, like especially Tennessee, I literally had to drive down there because I had to take the kids with me because I couldn't leave them home by themselves. And so I literally had to take them with me in order to do my job. And now it came a point that I left the company. And so the ancestors and the Orishas was like, what excuse do you have now? How can you say you're busy now? You don't even have a job. You don't even have a job. Now you are forced to ascend. And that's what so many of you are going through. You have ignored your intuition for the longest. You have ignored the voice of the ancestors and the Orishas for the longest. That now they have pushed you in a corner with your back against the wall, forcing you to do nothing but ascend. When you are in a pit, you have no choice but to elevate at this point. And so it forced me. The answers, I remember I was so defeated. Eating my little ice cream on the couch. Watching my TV shows. Falling asleep. Panicking in the morning, waking up, applying for 50 to 100 jobs. And they came in my dreams as clear as day. Get up, light a candle, use your herbs. And it was in that moment that I end up getting me a green candle, end up getting my money oil, getting my money drawing oil, my King Midas oil, doing that oil all around the candle, sprinkling some basil and some parsley, lit that candle and recited Psalms 4. Next thing you know, the insurance company end up calling me. Insurance company, oh sir, you have been paying over the amount you were supposed to pay for the last couple of years. Because at this point, I've been in my house for 10 years. That is so rare. Majority of the time, even when the insurance company noticed that mistake, they will not let you know. They will keep that money. The insurance company hit me up and told me that I was overpaying for my homeowner insurance and that they have to send me a check for all of the money that I overpaid for years. That money paid my mortgage for months. Me not having a job, I got all of this money in my bank account and I have no job. I have no income coming in. Then I end up getting my unemployment. My unemployment had to back pay me for months. Now that was on top of the money that I already received. That situation, it forced me to ascend. It forced me to finally do the work that they have been asking and begging me to do for the longest, that I ignored because I always said I didn't have time. You got to do the work. And now you better believe, ever since that moment, I've always made time to do the work. I get up every single morning and the first thing I do is I go to my altars. It has nothing to do with being initiated and not being initiated. Do the work. Call on there's no initiation that you need in order to work with your ancestors. Yes, it is good to be initiated with the Orishas because they will reveal more secrets and everything to you, but they will work with you even if you are not initiated. We got to do the work. I promise you that I will never put myself in a position again that I deny my intuition. I will never put myself in a position again that I'm not listening to the voice of Ari, that I'm not listening to the voice of Ashe, that I'm not listening to the voice of Igun, spirit guide, ancestors, Sarabanda, Orisha, Yeshua, Oladumare, Olarum, and Olafi. I would never put myself in that position again. Because when I put myself in that position, I was powerless. And everything overtook me until I finally start doing the work that they told me to do. Just because you work with them, it doesn't mean that you will never go through hard times again. It's promising you that when you go through the hard times, that they will be with you. That when everybody else is chaotic during a storm, you're the only one that is meditating and have peace. We got to do the work. And if you're not willing to do the work, then you're never going to get the help and assistance that you need. We got to get out of this religious mindset that we just pray and our prayers is everywhere. There's faith, but there's no intentions. 1 minute we're crying, next minute snot running down our nose. But we're not commanding what it is that we need. We're not telling them, Elegwa, open the door that I will receive blessings. Block the door from all those that are sending negative energy my way. Ogun, clear my path. Ochosi, bring me fairness and balance. Oya, blow back my enemies. A closed mouth is never going to get fed. We got to do the work. And that's what this week is all about. This week is to sow a seed in every last one of your lives to show you the work that needs to be done. I've taught you incense. I've taught you candles. I'm teaching you prayers now. I've taught you floor washes. When are you going to actually get up and do the work? That's the real question. Let's get into these prayers. My uplifted Egun, spirit guides and ancestors, guides, fierce protectors, and skilled healers, please stand with me. Rashad King, child of Vicky and Leotis, son of Oya and Chango, path of, you're never supposed to tell your path to people, so just fill in the blank. Protected by Ilegwa, Eshu, Ogun, Ochosi, and Osun, and Sarabanda, guided by Orumula. Be with me with a cool head and a clear mind, for I am root of your root, soil of your soil, bone of your bone, and blood of your blood. Not deaf to our sincere cry, nor blind to our honest petitions. Keep the gifts of perfect health, wealth, and prosperities close, so that we may honor and grow your legacy. I have not forgotten my commitment to our lineage, and I vow to never forget. Thank you, O great and powerful uplifted ancestors. Be with me in this moment and guide me along my road, protecting me from all evil and distractions. Ashe, Amen. Personal prayer. First is the Orisha's blessings. My bad. All we have to do is agree and say Ashe, Amen, so mote it be, so it is done. Whatever you want to do to touch and agree. May Ilegwa Eshu open the doors of opportunities and clear all obstacles from our path each day. Ashe Ilegwa Eshu. May Ogun grant us the courage to conquer and challenge and overcome obstacles. Ashe Ogun. May Ochosi bring justice and balance to our lives, guiding our actions with fairness. Ashe Ochosi. May Oya brings wind of change and prosperities to our realm, ushering in new opportunities. Ashe Oya. May Oshun fulfill our dreams of love and abundance, bringing richness to our lives. Ashe Ochun. May Chango empower us with the strength to face and triumph over our battles. Ashe Chango. May Yemaya renew and refresh our lives with her transformational power of her waters. Ashe Yemaya. May Obatala bring us peace, tranquility, and harmony to our lives, embracing serenity. Ashe Obatala. May Orumula bestow wisdom upon us, enlightening our path with knowledge. Ashe Orumula. May Baba Luau heal both our bodies and soul, restoring us to wholeness and wellness. Ashe Baba Luau. May Olakun provide stability to our beings, anchoring us in strength and grounding us. Ashe Olakun. Blessings to us. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. O Oladumare, the mighty Oba of strength and power, grant us today the security of your love and the assurance of your presence. In this difficult time in our lives, we seek your help, protection, and mercy. Remove our fears and doubt. Bring clarity to our troubled spirit. Orumula, illuminate our path with your spirit of light. O ancestors, uproot everything that does not belong in our lives and disrupt our destiny. Grant us the power to understand our star's guidance and the strength to pursue our dreams. May every dark influence troubling our star be rejected by our Ori. May my star shine brightly just like the sun. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Personal prayer. Everyone should have a personal prayer that you need to pray. When I was doing this, Spirit had me to sit down and actually write out my own personal prayer. Your personal prayer should be filled with faith and intentions. Faith to me is the easy part. You being here shows that you have faith. You being connected to this live every single morning, joining my channel, joining me on YouTube, it shows that you have faith. Now the thing that we need to work on is our intentions. We need to make sure that what we are speaking is in direct alignment of what we want to be manifested. Our prayers should not be everywhere, going to the north, the south, the east, and the west. We need to be very focused and hone in on what it is that we are asking the ancestors and that we are asking the Orishas for. And it should be directly related to what is going on with our lives. Don't be everywhere. Remember, lengthy prayers does not win the battle. It's the prayers that are very sharp with the intent that you want to manifest. That is the thing that wins. That is the thing that wins the battle, and that is the thing that wins the war. We need to make sure that everything we speak is in direct alignment with what it is that we want to manifest. Personal prayer. As I bow before your presence, I am reminded of spiritual warfare that surrounds me. As your words declare, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against power, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. So I stand firm, coming against the principalities, the powers of darkness, and spiritual hosts of wickedness in heavenly places. I confront spells, curses, illusions, root work, negative juju, and negative energy projected towards me by others. Your words assures that whoever you bless, no man can curse. Therefore, with your great power, light, and ashe, I ask you to remove all their powers from my life and set me free. I reclaim my own power and let it return to me now. I bind everything that does not serve my highest good and all distractions from my purpose. I release all that will serve my highest good, trusting you to satisfy each and every desire with good things. Keep me steadfast on the path of light, that I may fulfill my purpose. Send back to my enemies all the energies they have projected towards me, your faithful servant, that by their own words they will be acquitted, and by their own words they will be condemned. May the sword they drew against me pierce them, and may the pits they digged for me become their downfall. Let the water overtake them, and let the storm destroy their plans. For your promise declares that my scent is like a field blessed by you. You will provide heaven's dew and earth richness, an abundance of grain and new wine. Nations will serve me, and people will bow down to me. I am Lord over my adversaries, and those who curse me will themselves be cursed, while those who bless me will be blessed. I hold onto the promise that the Lord will generously open his treasures of blessings to me. He will send rain to nourish my land in its season, and his favor will rest upon all the works of my hands. I am blessed to be a lender to many nations, never needing to borrow. The Lord declares that I am destined to be the head and not the tail, always positioned above and never beneath. Ashe, ashe, asheo. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Psalms 23, with a yellow candle for victory and success. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He lead me beside the still waters. He restores my soul for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare the table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalms 91, with a white candle for protection and remembering God's power. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and your rampart. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrows that fly by day, nor the pests that stalk in the darkness, nor the plague that destroy at midday. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 by your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only observe with your eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. If you say, the Lord is my refuge, and you make the Most High your dwelling, no harm will overtake you, no disaster will come near your tent. For he will command his angels to concern you, to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike a foot against a stone. You will tread on the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Psalms 3, with a white candle for spiritual support, affliction, and stress. Lord, how many are my foes? How many rise up against me? Many are saying God will not deliver me, but you, Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, the one who lifts my head high. I will call out to the Lord, and he will answer me. Okay. Let me start over. Lord, how many are my foes? How many rise up against me? Many are saying God will not deliver me, but you, Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, the one who lifts my head high. I call out to the Lord, and he answers me from his holy mountain. I lie down to sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. I will not fear though tens of thousands assail me on every side. Arise, Lord, deliver me, my God. Strike all my enemies on the jaw. Break the teeth of the wicked. From the Lord comes deliverance. May your blessings be on your people. Ashe, amen. Psalms 1, with a blue candle for peace and blessing your home. Blessed is the one who does not walk in the step of the wicked, or stand in a way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but who delight in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaves does not wither. Whatever they do prosper. Not so the wicked. They are like the chaff that the winds blow away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in judgment, nor the sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction. Psalms 2, with a blue candle for confronting your storm. Why do the nations conspire and the people plot in vain? The kings of the earth rise up, and the rulers band together against the Lord, against his anointed, saying, let us break their chains and throw off their shackles. The one enthroned in heaven laugh. The Lord scoff at them. He rebukes them in his anger and terrifies them in his wrath, saying, I have installed my king on Zion, my holy mountain. I will proclaim the Lord's decree. He said to me, you are my son. Today I have become your father. Ask, and I will make the nations your inheritance, the ends of the earth your possessions. You will break them with a rod of iron. You will dash them to pieces like pottery. Therefore, you kings, be wise. Be warned, you rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and celebrate his rule with trembling. Kiss his son, or he will be angry, and your ways will lead to your destruction. For his wrath can flare up in a moment. Blessed are all who take refuge in him. Ashe. Psalms 4, with a green candle for good luck and money. Answer me when I call to you, my righteous God. Give me relief from my distress and have mercy on me and hear my prayers. How long will you people turn my glory into shame? How long will you love delusions and seek false gods? Know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. Tremble and do not sin. When you are on your bed, search your hearts and be silent. Offer the sacrifice of the righteous and trust in the Lord. Many, Lord, are asking, who will bring us prosperity? Let the light of your face shine on us. Fill my heart with joy when their grain and new wine abound. In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Ashe. Psalm 7, with a purple candle for overcoming evil by your enemies. Lord, my God, I take refuge in you. Save and deliver me from all who pursue me, or they will tear me apart like a lion and rip me to pieces with no one to rescue me. Lord, my God, if I have done this and there is guilt on my hands, if I have repaid my allies with evil, or without cause have robbed my foes, then let my enemies pursue and overtake me. Let him trample my life to the ground and make me sleep in dust. Arise, Lord, in your anger. Rise up against the rage of my enemies. Awake, my God, decree justice. Let the Lord judge the people. Vindicate me, Lord, according to my righteousness, according to my integrity, O Most High. Bring to an end the violence of the wicked and make the righteous secure. You are the righteous God who probed the minds and hearts. My shield is God Most High, who saved the upright in heart. God is a righteous judge, God who displays his wrath every day. If he does not relent, he will sharpen his sword. He will bend and string his bows. He has prepared his deadly weapons. He make ready his flaming arrows. Whoever is pregnant with evil conceives trouble and gives birth to delusionment. Whoever digs a hole and scoop it out falls into the pit they have made. The trouble they caused recoil on them. Their violence come down on their own head. I will give thanks to the Lord because of his righteousness. I will sing the praise of the name of the Lord Most High. Ashe. So mote it be, it shall be, it's already in existence, it's already done. I believe you for it. I seal this prayer in the name of Igun, spirit guides, ancestors, Sarabanda, Orisha, Yeshua, Oladumare, Olarum, and Olafi. And I thank you, Igun, spirit guide, ancestor, Sarabanda, Orisha, Yeshua, Oladumare, Olarum, and Olafi. I believe these things, it shall be done. We claim this thing right now. Ashe, amen. So it is done. Ashe. It don't take long for prayers. You know, with some of you just got to think about it. You know, what have you done before this and have it worked for you? If what you're doing is working, then ignore everything that I say. Continue doing whatever it is that you're doing. But the one thing that I've noticed is that my sessions of doing tarot cards is filled with Christians more than any other religion. And yet they are the ones that claim that the only thing you need is Jesus, but yet you come to a spiritualist whenever you have any type of spiritual problem. Whenever you feel that you can't hear the voice of God. Whenever you feel that you need direction, you don't go to your prophets. You always come to the spiritualist. And then they take our information and they take our advice and their whole life is completely changed. And then the first thing they do is they go back to their congregation and say that, oh, tarot cards is evil, is negative spirits, that they brought the negative energy in my life. No, that negative energy was prevalent before you even came to me. That negative energy was taking your hair out and everything else. And clearly your pastor was not able to pray it away, nor was you able to pray it away. It's easy to remember your dreams. All you have to do is take olive oil, frankincense, and myrrh, the same measurement, mix it together. So if you use 2 ounces of olive oil, you're going to use 2 ounces of frankincense. You're going to put it in a jar and shake that thing up and anoint your third eye every night before going to bed. And just remember, that's going to make your dreams a whole lot more vivid, which means you need to have a notebook and everything by your bed so that you can completely write this stuff down once you wake up. Where can you get what? Frankincense and myrrh? You can get frankincense from Amazon. All you're doing is looking for the essential oil and you're mixing it. You can get olive oil from the grocery store. We need to start doing these things. Remember, guys, check out my website, www.rashadking.com. Check out my book, The Emerging Butterfly. The purple book is all the chapters. That's going to give you exactly what you need. And then the blue book is the workbook. And I'm actually going to, it was supposed to be the beginning of this year. I'm going to have another book coming out this year that's going to teach you how to connect with the ancestors and how to work with the ancestors. But we need to make sure that we start doing the work. I'm not the one that argue. You come on my live with the nonsense. The only thing I'm going to do is block, unless I want to use your statement as a teachable moment. Yeah, I need to start making, I know majority of the time, the only time that I would make oils and candles and stuff like that is when I'm working with a client. And so I tell everyone, please, I'm glad that you guys trust me. You know, there are so many people that is hitting me up. Look, I'm glad that you trust me, but I got to give you the wisdom that I will give anyone. Stop hitting me up telling me all of your problems. You don't do that, because it opens the door for manipulation. Even though I will never manipulate you, it opens the door for manipulation. And if you're able to do it with me, you will do it to other people. When you go to someone, the only thing you need to say is, I need to sign up for a divination session. If I'm able to bring up everything that you are going through in divination, that's when you open up. That's when you lower your guard and you say, yes, Rashad, this is what's going on. This is what your energy has been catching. But don't just come to me and say, hey, all of this stuff been happening, blah, 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 because you tell that to the wrong person, and that person is going to give you your words back with manipulation. And they're going to say, yes, you know, this is a spell from your mother. You know, in order to break this, you need to send me $5,000. And if you send me $5,000, I can break this now. And so many people have fallen prey to that you have listened to these people. You don't know what they believe. You don't know who they are a priest of. You don't know what spiritual path they're down. And you just automatically sent this person money, not realizing that the person you sent money to could be the very person that is working against you, so that you can keep hiring them to remove negative energy. Stop doing that. Stop just going to random people, telling them everything that is going on in your life. If they cannot see it, then you do not speak it. That is my biggest saying. If they cannot see it, then you do not speak it. Stop letting these people know everything that is going on in your life. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I told you I'm pressed for time. I got to go wake my son up. he got testing this morning. I'm running late. Elijah, come on. You got testing. You need to get up on the computer. You late. Come on, move. Put Marco in his kennel. Go ahead and get dressed and get on that computer and do your test. Elijah, it's 9:12. Let's go. Put Marco in his kennel. I'm sorry, y'all. The puppy is doing good, but I'm so pressed for time. I got meetings and man, I got meetings and everything else. That's why I said, man, you know, I purposely get up every morning around 4. Some mornings I get up at 3, but I purposely get up every morning at 4 so that I can do all my prayers and everything, do my rituals and everything before I have to get my son up, you know, before I have to start work. And that's why I said, man, it's always something. So trust me, if I can make time out of my day to do these things and then to do these things for other people as well, there's no excuse. No excuse. We can't be. It's one chapter that I love in here that talks about. Let me look at. It's one chapter that I love in here that talks about spirituality and no more laziness and scapegoat. Chapter page 48. Oh, and it's 17. 17 is a number that I'm keep seeing. Chapter 17. No more laziness and scapegoats. Every chapter is start with a it starts with a quote. Rise from your slumber, awake to your power within. No more scapegoats, only growth. It's time to begin. I often remind my son that spirituality and laziness cannot coexist because true spirituality requires efforts and action. I understand some individuals choose to remain religious as it only tells you that attending service with the need to remember holy texts or scriptures. They can simply pray with the belief that if they don't receive what they desire, it is because God doesn't want them to, it's because God don't want them to have it. And when all else fails, they can easily attribute everything to the devil. However, spirituality demands active participation because everything is energy. To achieve the desired outcome, one must vibrate at a high frequency, which is the form of energy itself. Vibrating at a high frequency requires us to remove blockages and ensure that our chakras are operating at ultimate level. The first steps towards this is aligning ourselves with spirit, which is Ashe. As above, so below. As within, so without. As in heaven, so on earth. These phrases illustrate the connection between the tangible and the untangible aspects of existence. For example, what lies beneath our feet is tangible and visible, while what lies above is intangible and only limited by our vision. The same applies to the inner and outer aspects of our being. The physical body is tangible, while the soul and the spirit is intangible, invisible. However, they remain interconnected. Applying this perception to manifestation in the spiritual realm, we must also consider the physical aspects. Before solely focusing on the spiritual plane, it is essential to ensure that the physical plane is well taken care of. This involves cleaning and organizing our living space, purifying everything used for manifestation, and cleaning ourselves. Once the physical aspect is in order, we can then delve into the spiritual realm. Here is where laziness must be discarded, as spirituality requires both the intentions and faith in equal measures. Alongside the environment we are trying to manifest within. Consider the attitude and the energy that one brings into the manifestation process when their home is unclean and disorganized. Such energy can lead us to unclean and disorganized results. Hence, as a spiritual individual, it is imperative to understand the connection between the physical and the spiritual realm. Recognizing this connection enables us to comprehend that spirituality requires more effort and work. Therefore, I encourage you to embrace the understanding that embarking on a spiritual journey and it requires diligence. It's necessary for removing laziness. Dedicating time to study, researching, gaining understanding, and diligently applying what you have learned without skipping any steps. Now let's address the most popular scapegoat of all times, the devil. In spiritual path, there is no devil, which is distinguished from a religious mindset. Consequently, one must take accountability for their own actions and choices. Religious individuals tend to focus on the devil and often blame him for a variety of situations instead of acknowledging their own responsibility. For example, when a person cheats on their spouse, causing division within the home, religious individuals rarely taking accountability for their actions, instead contribute the discord to the devil. Similarly, individuals who spend their money without thinking about it and negatively impact their physical responsibility may blame the devil for their mismanagement of funds. Spiritual paths has no scapegoat and take on responsibility and accountability for all of their actions and choices. It requires introspection and self-transformation to manifest the desired change outwardly. The devil has always been an interesting character to me. Although portrayed as an angel, significantly lower in stature than a god, he is often depicted as having power to destroy countless lives simultaneously, as if he is God. God is the only one that is all-seeing, that is all-knowing, and that can be present in multiple places. But yet, when people describe the devil and talk about their encounters with the devil, they speak as if the devil is all-knowing, all-seeing, and can be in multiple places at multiple times. Giving the devil this much power and allowing him to be this powerful scapegoat, it now puts him on the same level and the same playing field as God, which is completely false. Religious individuals fail to realize is that by making the devil their scapegoat, they inadvertently elevate him to a position of power equal to God. In my belief, nothing is more powerful than God. Therefore, it's essential to stop utilizing scapegoats and instead confront our problems effectively, taking on accountability and responsibility for all of our actions. True spirituality requires us to step out of the realm of laziness, take accountability for our actions, and embrace personal growth. It calls us to develop a deeper understanding of the interplay between the physical and the spiritual aspects of our existence. By relinquishing the need for a scapegoat and focusing on our own transformation, we can align ourselves with the true power that resides within us and manifest positive changes in our lives. We gotta stop using all of these excuses. This is chapter 17 from my book, The Emerging Butterfly, Begin Your Spiritual Awakening. You can order my book on my website, www.rashadking.com. This book is all about opening your eyes that you are going through a spiritual awakening, and you get the necessary things you need in order to go through this spiritual awakening. And there is a workbook to go with it that every chapter has an assignment that you must do so that you can seal in this knowledge. The book is broken down in the 4 stages that a butterfly actually grows to be a butterfly. You have the first stage, and every section has 9 chapters. You have the first stage, which is the egg stage, and it's all about the rebirth of forgotten information. So chapter 1 is the call for an awakening. Chapter 2 is who are you and embracing the journey of self-discovery. Chapter 3 is about reincarnation. Chapter 4 is about soul contracts. Chapter 5 is about the circle of life. Chapter 6 is about karma. Chapter 7 is about soulmate, kindred spirits, twin flames, and karmic soulmates. Chapter 8 is about the tree of life. And chapter 9 is about the purpose of life. Section 2. Section 2 is the lava stage, is an awakening, is awakening a caterpillar. Chapter 10 is about spirituality and religion. Chapter 11 is about your views and perceptions. Chapter 12 is about embracing unity and collaboration. Chapter 13 is about embracing unity and healing. Chapter 14 is about embracing intimacy. Chapter 15 is about embracing imperfection and lifelong learning. Chapter 16 is about embracing love and removing hate. Chapter 17 is no more laziness and scapegoat, which is the chapter I read. Chapter 18 is being prepared for the misconceptions. That is a very powerful chapter, chapter 18, because it goes over all of the common misconceptions that Christians normally use. And it's letting you know all of these things that we use as a spiritual person is actually in the Bible. No, I don't have it on Audible yet. Section 3 is the transformational stage of being in a cocoon. Chapter 19 is about understanding your DNA. Chapter 20 is learning about the zodiac sign. Chapter 21 is understanding the difference between your sun, moon, and rising. Chapter 22 is the importance of your life path number and how to understand what your life path number is. Chapter 23 is about embracing the ego and shadow work. Chapter 24 is inner stillness of how to connect with spirit. Chapter 25 is learning how to connect with spirit. Chapter 26 is learning how to connect with spirit. And chapter 27 is once again learning how to connect with spirit. It's giving you the different aspects of spirit. And then finally, the last stage of actually morphing into a butterfly, you have chapter 28, tapping into spirit and understanding its essence. Chapter 29, understanding and balancing the chakras. Chapter 30, understanding masculine and feminine energy. Chapter 31, awakening to your spiritual gifts. Chapter 32, how to deal with messages and synchronicities. Chapter 33, magic and manifestations. Chapter 34, spells and rituals. Chapter 35, using the power of healing crystals, singing bowls, incense, and candles. And then finally, chapter 26, the need for accountability. You can check out my book, The Emerging Butterfly, on my